Ever wonder how a fitness coach ends up like building the future of business?
Yeah,
That's what we're diving into today.
it's quite a story.
The story of VentureMap and its founder.
Yeah.
We're tracing this whole journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
From those early days of, virtual workouts to their current vision of these AI-powered organizations.
It's fascinating how it all connects.
It really is.
Yeah, you might be surprised to learn just how connected those early days, like in the fitness world, are to where VentureMap is headed.
Yeah, and that's what's so remarkable about this whole thing. It really highlights the power of transferable skills.
Actually,
The founder's deep understanding of movement and optimization,
yes.
feedback loops in the fitness world.
Right.
It became the foundation for a totally different kind of innovation,
Yeah.
revolutionizing how organizations operate.
A whole other ball game.
So we're already starting to see these seeds of VentureMap being planted even back when the founder was knee-deep in the world of virtual training. And, our sources paint this picture of someone who wasn't just interested in fitness,
Right.
but also had a real knack for technology.
Oh, yeah. They were all about pushing those boundaries.
We're talking gamification, virtual training.
Of course.
They were even exploring like voice assistants, computer vision. This wasn't just about leading a workout.
No, not at all.
It was about like, how do you use technology to transform this entire experience?
Exactly.
And that's where,
Veldian comes in. Which, this was the founder's initial venture, kind of a precursor to what we now know as VentureMap.
Okay.
They envisioned this, closed-loop virtual training system that used pose estimation, movement tracking to provide real-time feedback.
Wow.
Powered by AI. So imagine getting personalized pointers on your form, as if you had a personal trainer right there with you, analyzing your every move.
It sounds like they were way ahead of the curve, especially with AI.
Oh, yeah.
But our sources also reveal that turning this vision into reality, it wasn't easy.
No, it never is.
Building a system like this, especially one dealing with the complexities of computer vision and 3D spatial awareness, it's got to come with its hurdles, right?
Absolutely. You can almost feel the founder wrestling with these technical challenges in our sources.
Yeah.
They were determined to create a system that could accurately understand and interpret movement in a three-dimensional space, which is no small feat.
Right. That's not easy.
We even see glimpses of their process, like collaborating with their father, using early planning tools like Miro.
Oh, wow.
A true testament to their dedication.
But a family teamwork never hurts.
Never hurts.
But as they dove deeper into this world of virtual training,
right,
the founder started to uncover this fundamental flaw in the existing approach.
Interesting.
Even with all the bells and whistles that technology could offer.
Yeah.
Something crucial was missing.
What's that?
The human element.
Ah, the human element.
Yeah.
You can't forget about that.
Exactly. You can't just have all this tech and no heart, right?
Exactly. You need that human touch.
Yeah, okay.
That's what makes the difference.
So they had this realization, right? Like the human touch was crucial.
Yeah.
But they'd also poured their heart and soul into building this sophisticated tech.
Right.
It wasn't just as simple as hitting reset.
Exactly.
What did the founder do with this insight?
Well, this is where the story takes a fascinating turn.
Okay.
Instead of ditching all that hard work, the founder did something really clever. They took their knowledge and applied it to a totally different field.
Interesting.
It's that classic pivot you hear about in the startup world.
Right.
But this one's really interesting, because it bridges this gap between human movement and the movement of information within an organization.
Now, that might sound like a stretch to some people.
Yeah, I could see that.
From optimizing squats to optimizing businesses.
Right.
But walk us through how the founder connected those dots.
Sure. So it all comes back to that core insight, right? About the importance of human observation, human analysis.
Right.
The founder had been laser focused on replicating a coach's ability to observe and correct physical movements, right?
Okay.
But they realized that same principle could apply to something way more abstract.
Like what?
The flow of information, decisions, actions within a company.
Interesting.
Just like a physical body, an organization can be trained for peak performance.
I like that.
But only if you understand how everything moves, how everything connects.
So instead of tracking an athlete's progress, they envisioned tracking the progress of an entire business?
Precisely.
What did that actually look like, though? in a practical sense?
So the founder started talking about creating a digital twin for an organization.
A digital twin.
Yeah.
Okay, that might sound kind of complex.
It sounds more complex than it is,
Okay.
but it's a powerful idea, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a virtual representation of a company, a mirror image that reflects like every department, every team, every process, all interconnected and visualized in a way that's like never been done before.
And this digital twin wouldn't just be a static picture, right? It would be dynamic, constantly updating, evolving.
Exactly.
Just like a real organization does.
You got it.
Okay.
They didn't want to just capture the structure. They wanted to capture the essence.
The essence of
how information flows, where decisions are made, how teams interact.
Interesting.
And this is where their initial work on Veldian becomes super relevant.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Remember all those technical challenges they had with computer vision, 3D spatial awareness?
Yeah.
Those were basically problems of mapping and understanding complex systems in motion.
So it's like they accidentally gave themselves the tools and the mindset to tackle this much bigger challenge
Exactly.
of mapping out an entire organization. But how did they go from this big idea of a digital twin to actually using it?
Well, sometimes a little serendipity comes into play.
Oh.
Remember how the founder was on the board of their Dr. Friends Foundation?
Right.
That friendship turned out to be a pivotal moment for VentureMap.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The doctor was struggling with some organizational stuff at the foundation.
Right.
And the founder was like, hey, what if we apply my methodology, my way of mapping and analyzing complex systems to your situation?
So their first foray into the world of organizational optimization was actually with a nonprofit.
Exactly, a nonprofit.
What a great way to test the waters.
Test the waters, refine their approach.
Exactly.
And it worked.
It did.
Yeah, this experience was like a light bulb moment for the founder. They saw firsthand how their methodology could be applied to a completely different context, and it worked.
Wow.
And it had results.
That's amazing.
So it validated their belief that the principles of observation, analysis, optimization, they were universal.
It's not just about human bodies, it's about systems.
Exactly. Any complex system.
This feels like the start of something way bigger than even the founder imagined.
It is.
Did they start dropping hints about where this was all heading?
They did. There's mention of Project Leviathan in our sources.
Project Leviathan.
Yeah, it's described kind of vaguely, but it suggests that the founder's ambition, it was growing.
It sounded ambitious.
Exponentially.
Okay.
We're talking about a scale and scope beyond anything we've talked about so far.
Project Leviathan. It definitely has a ring to it, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean to map out an entire organization on this massive scale? And what role does AI play in all of this? That's what I want to know.
And that's a perfect segue into the founder's vision for the future of work.
Okay.
They believed that understanding an organization's flow, that was just step one.
Yeah.
The real magic, they thought, would come when you could use that understanding to drive intelligent action.
All right, so let's talk about how VentureMap goes from mapping organizations to actually optimizing them, and hopefully with a little less jargon this time.
Okay.
We're talking about optimizing organizations.
And that's where the founders' early fascination with AI comes full circle,
Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine this.
Okay.
You've got this crazy detailed digital twin of a company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every process, every decision point.
It's all there.
It's all there.
Like a living, breathing X-ray of the business.
Exactly. But now, layer on top of that the power of AI.
Okay.
Specifically, something called large language models.
Okay.
LLMs for short.
LLMs. Okay, I've heard of those, but how do they...
These LLMs are they're incredibly powerful computer brains that can just analyze mountains of data.
Okay, so I've heard of LLMs, but how do they fit into this whole optimizing a business thing?
So think of it this way, right? An LLM in its basic form, it's like a really smart intern.
Okay.
You feed it info, it finds patterns, maybe writes you a report, right?
Okay.
But what if you could give that intern the memory of an elephant?
Okay.
And the ability to instantly access every piece of information about a company, past, present, even predict future trends.
Okay.
That's what the founder was thinking about with these LLMs with what they call expanded context windows.
So it's not just about analyzing the data, it's about understanding the context of that data within a specific organization.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where the magic happens.
Let's get to the magic.
Because once an LLM has that deep contextual understanding, it can start doing some really wild stuff.
Like what?
It can ID bottlenecks in workflows,
Okay.
predict risks, opportunities, even suggest totally new ways of operating that, like, humans might never even think of.
It's like having a superpowered consultant, but it's, a lot more affordable.
Yeah, no more exorbitant fees, just lines of code, right?
Exactly.
And it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
The founder thought that LLMs could eventually power what they called autonomous agents.
Autonomous agents, what are those?
Think of them like AI employees,
Okay.
digital assistants that can do tasks, make decisions,
Okay.
even learn and adapt over time.
Wow.
All based on the data, right, and the goals of the organization.
So we're talking about automating not just like the routine stuff,
Right.
but like the complex decision making.
That was the goal, the ultimate goal. But
Right.
the founder also knew that none of this was possible without a good foundation.
Okay.
These AI systems, they're only as good as the data they get, right?
Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. So they really focused on building that well-structured, comprehensive data repository.
Data is key.
It's the lifeblood.
It is.
Without good data, these AI systems can't do much. It'd be like trying to bake a cake with, like, rotten eggs and bad flour.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how good of a baker you are, it's going to be a bad cake.
So where does VentureMap actually fit into all of this? They're not like building AI systems, are they?
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
VentureMap, like, right now, it's the bridge between where business is at and this AI-powered future.
So they're bridging the gap.
Exactly.
Wow.
Remember the VentureMap elite community?
A testing ground.
Yeah, the testing ground.
Okay.
It's still a hands-on process, working closely with these businesses, helping them map out their structure, their processes, pinpoint areas for improvement. They're basically those human observers for now, gathering the data and the insights that will eventually, like, train the AI systems down the line.
It's like they're like building the bridge and then like handing businesses the tools to cross it.
That's a great way to put it.
And then eventually the AI will just be able to guide them across, like seamlessly.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
And it's worth mentioning, this isn't just about, making as much money as possible.
Okay.
The founder really wanted to create a good impact.
Okay.
For both customers and employees. They wanted to build a future of work where, technology helps people or not replaces them.
Okay. So what does this all look like in the end? Like, what's the final vision for VentureMap?
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
A holographic, real-time, interactive visualization of an entire organization powered by AI.
Wow.
You can see everything, every department, every process, every connection. And it's not just a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving, learning, optimizing.
I think that's live.
It's like this living, breathing thing, right?
That's incredible.
You can see the pulse of your organization, identify like where the problems are in real time, make decisions with a level of precision that, nobody's ever seen before.
Wow. It sounds both incredibly complex and like really easy to use all at the same time.
That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Taking something as complex as, a modern business and making it understandable, manageable, and ultimately more human.
And that's the thing, right? Like, we often think of technology as being this kind of cold, impersonal thing.
Right.
But the founder's vision for VentureMap, it's not about that at all.
Not at all.
It's about using technology to actually enhance our humanity.
Exactly. To make us better at what we do, to help us connect.
To help us understand each other better.
Yeah.
To help us work together more effectively.
Exactly.
And ultimately to help us create organizations that are more than just profit-making machines, but are actually forces for good in the world.
That's the dream.
I love that.
Yeah.
A huge thank you to our expert for, guiding us through this fascinating world.
Happy to do it.
Of VentureMap.
It's a fascinating story.
It really is. And to all our listeners out there, keep asking those what-if questions.
Yeah, keep exploring.
Keep exploring, because you never know where those unconventional paths might lead.
You never know.
Until next time, keep learning and keep diving deep.